welcome back to my channel and welcome to the first video of 2021. Now I will be the first to admit that this video is really late because it is January 13th and it's like halfway through January and I just now decided to film my 21 books that I want to read in 2021. And I know this is late but I still wanted to film this and hopefully get through all of these books and more. My big goal this year is to not spend a lot of money on books, but to read the books that I currently own, which we can tell is a lot. And I'm very self-aware that I have a lot of books that are unread, and this year I have a mission to read probably not all of them, but a good portion of them without purchasing a lot of new books. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I will probably still purchase books this year, but I really want to read the books that I own, and I have some really great books that are on this list that I feel like I'm going to love. So I'm not going to go into any synopsises of these books. I'm just going to kind of like say the name and all that, and yeah, let's just go ahead and get into the books that I want to read this year. The first two books are actually books that I'm currently reading, and the first one is going to be Vicious Spirits by Kat Cho. This is actually the sequel to Wicked Fox, which I read last year, and I'm super excited to read this one. I really love the world and all of the characters. It was super fun, so I'm really excited to get back into this one. I do know this follows, I believe, two different characters from the previous book, and it's from their perspective instead of the first main character that we had. So I'm very excited, and I'm actually a good portion of the way into this one. I am about 10 chapters into this and really enjoying it. The next book that I want to read this year is All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. This one is actually a memoir, which I don't read a lot of memoirs or just like books based on like true stories. I read a lot of made up ones, but I figured it would be a really good thing for me to read a book from somebody's perspective and their life experiences directly from their lives. That didn't make sense, but I'm sure you know what I mean. I wanted to read a book from somebody's like actual life. Wow, that makes no sense. Okay, diverting a little bit from that, I have The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This is the latest release in the Hunger Games world. I had a mission to reread all of the Hunger Games books before this one came out, but I only managed to reread the first one. So in order to read this one, I still plan to reread Catching Fire and Mockingjay. I promise I will eventually get to those two this year before I can read this one, but I'm super excited about this one. Even though there has been a lot of mixed reviews, I still have the intent on reading it just because it really takes me back to my sophomore year of high school. And I remember reading that series and just being so engrossed in it and in the world. I read those books so fast. And I remember finishing Catching Fire and desperately needing Mockingjay. And my mom ended up buying me I think it was Mockingjay. She bought me Mockingjay and then a giant thing of cheese balls. And so I ate this whole thing of cheese balls while reading the last book. So there's just a lot of good memories attached to this series, and I just kind of want to go back to that time because man, 2012, 2011, 2013, that was a whole different world. We miss it. That was such a simpler time. The next book I want to read is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This book I heard so much buzz about a few years ago, and I remember Books with Chloe really loving this book. She is part of the reason why I bought it. I'm so ashamed to say I haven't read it yet because I remember actively seeking out this edition. I wanted this edition specifically because I'm not a huge fan of these two covers, which has it's green, or not green, it's yellow and blue, I believe, which I mean this is yellow and blue too, but it's mostly blue with gold foiling. I actively sought out this edition and desperately looked for it, which I ended up having found it at Half Price Books, which is where I actually got a lot of these. But super excited to read this, especially since I went out of my way to find this specific paperback. So really excited to read this fan. Also, she's real floppy. The next book I have is The Toll by Neil Shusterman. I read the first two books, Scythe and Thunderhead, last year, which I think was around August when I went on vacation from work, and I literally was so obsessed. The only reason why I didn't end up reading this right away is because I came back from my vacation and immediately jumped right back into work, and I was just super busy. And like, I have hiccups right now. This book is super long and it's like a massive commitment, and I wanted to make sure that I like could actually sit there and like really digest what I was reading, because this book is just, oh, this series is so good. But really hoping to get to this soon. I really just want to like take a week off of work just so I can like chill and like read. Oh my god, that's like the dream. Which I couldn't take any time off around the holidays because it was literally, I work retail and it was so busy that like mentally I could not process this during that time. Next we have I think it's a duology. I don't know if there's gonna be a third book or not. I think there's a third book coming out for this, but it's Girls of Paper and Fire and Girls of Storm and Shadow. Again, I believe Books with Chloe really loved this series, and so of course, me being the person that I am, I went and bought it. Because like, if my favorite booktuber likes a book, I'm gonna buy it. So it's just who I am as a person, and I realize that might be a toxic trait. I'm very much like an all or nothing person. So very, very excited about these. I believe this has a female romance in it, and I'm really excited because we love books by authors who aren't white, because the world experiences are not just white, and we also love books that aren't just about the same white straight characters. Actually, going into the same thing, I have another, like, currently I only have the first two books, and I know there's another book in this series, which is A Reaper at the Gates, which according to these books, they didn't even have a cover at the time, but I specifically sought these out because, like, come on, are these not beautiful? Again, Half Price Books has all the editions that I want. Why is this turning into a haul? I don't know, because I can't film a video without being annoying. Actually, that's my whole personality. Sorry. Anyway, getting back to the point, I want to read An Ember in the Ashes and A Torch Against the Night, and I'm really excited because I know a lot of people like these series, and I'm really behind. We sense a theme. I'm behind on books. I always am behind because I can never catch up. Oh yeah, the bargain stickers from Books A Million are still on the back of these. I got this one for $3.97 and I got this one for $4.97. We love a bargain queen. Like, I'm telling you, you can still get a lot of books without spending a lot of money. That is how I got these two. Books A Million bargain section. Next we have Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one, I know Emma Books loves, and if you know me at all, you know I've been following Emma for a very long time, and I feel like I have a pretty similar reading taste to her, and pretty much like every book that I've ever bought that she has recommended, I have loved. And so like, I just very much trust her recommendations. I don't know why I haven't read this one yet. I bought it like a while ago for sure. Like, I was still living in my apartment when I bought this, so probably like 2 years. When did this come out? I don't even know. 2019. Yeah, for sure. That was like 2 years ago, because I know I got it shortly after the hype started on this one. So yeah, Daisy Jones and the Six. I'm like out of breath right now. I am so tired. I had a blood work test done yesterday, and I've been very exhausted since because they took a fair amount of blood from me. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I also took a 2-hour nap yesterday and then fell asleep at 8 o'clock last night. So, moving along. I'm just full of crazy. I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning. I'm good. The next book I want to read is Children of Blood and Bone by Tony Adeyemi. I know this book was so popular. I want to say back in like 2018. Let's see, when did you come out? Oh, I forgot there was a pretty map in it. Wow. Let's see. I know I tried to read this once and for some reason I just set it down and didn't continue it. That's a common theme for me. I'll start books and then not finish them. Yeah, I was right. Oh my god, 2018 is the copyright date. So yeah, 2018 this came out, and I know I bought it shortly after that. And A lot of people love this one. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure it's really gorgeous under the dust jacket too. Oh, yes it is. Oh, it's so pretty. Anyway, I know a lot of people have compared this to, I believe, Avatar: The Last Airbender, which, like, if you know me at all, you know I love Avatar: The Last Airbender, which, like, I have a whole bunch of Avatar stuff literally sitting right in front of me. So, I feel like this will be right up my alley. Next, we have another queer book, and that is Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. You can barely see this cover. I actually just recently reread We Are Okay, and I have not read this one yet, which I don't know how. A lot of people love Nina LaCour's writing, and I have really enjoyed We Are Okay. I've actually read that twice now, so really excited to read this one. I don't know too much of what this one is about, but my sticker is still on it from the Books A Million bargain section. I bought this for $3.97.
Hello, editing me popping in. Before we continue on with the video, I wanted to say that I've actually had an eye appointment since filming this video, because before you get to the next clip, I say that I hadn't read this book because I couldn't see, and so I have resolved that. I should be getting some new glasses here very soon, and I'm really excited about my new frames and the fact that I have a prescription that I can actually see with. Yeah. I also dyed my hair today, so I am no longer the blonde that you see in this video. I was really behind on dyeing my hair, and I just really need to address it because I promised you that blonde was not staying. I just hadn't had time to dye my hair. So, I am purple again. I am no longer the horrendous blonde that was happening. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video.
Next, we have, oops, I almost dropped it. We have Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. This one was so popular last year, and I meant to get to it, but I have been having a lot of headache issues, and I cannot see very well. And so, like, the font in this book, man, is so small, which is why I haven't read it yet. Which I realize is a ridiculous reason to have not read a book yet, because it sounds amazing, especially with, like, the ghosts, like necromancy, not necromancy, but it has something to do with, like, ghosts and stuff. Why did I say it that way? I don't know. But this hit the New York Times bestseller list, and I was like, oh my god, that's amazing, because I know somebody said that, I think it was like a Latinx I don't remember what I was gonna say. Cool. This book.
Back at it again with editing me. Sorry, my fan is on. My room is hot once again. But what I was trying to say, that Aiden Thomas is a queer, trans, Latinx author. I'm illiterate. Can you believe I have a booktube channel?
Next we have, I cannot believe I have not read this book yet, On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. I remember reading The Hate U Give and really loving it. I also really enjoyed the movie. So I can't believe I haven't read this yet. I'm so behind, man, on books. Like, I'm so behind. So, really hoping to get to this one this year. We have kind of a random book because I literally know nothing about it, and that is The Gilded Ones. Now, the reason why I decided to add this to my list is because I was watching Kaz from Little Book Owl's 2021 books video, and she had this on her list, and I was like, wait, I have that book. I should put it on my list because I got this in Fairy Loot, and I have not been very good about reading my Fairy Loot books. So I kind of forgot I had this one because it was like shoved on my bookshelf where I like could not see it because my bookshelves are getting really full. Got to expose myself. I realized it's a problem. So yeah, decided to add this one to the list. Okay, I'm getting so tired for filming this video, so I'm just gonna speed through the last few. I have You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. This was a very popular book last year, and I'm super excited to get to this one. This was definitely high up on my list of books that I want to read. The next two are Odd One Out and Jackpot, which I literally just held them up in reverse order. It's fine. I read Dear Justice and Dear Martin last year and really loved them, and I wanted to read more by Nick Stone. So I decided to add these to the list. Funny story about this one, which is A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy, is I've actually read, this is so embarrassing, this much of it. My bookmark is still in here. and I don't know why I set it down. I think I was trying to like take an Instagram picture, so I like shoved the bookmark in and then put it on my shelf so that it filled up the empty space. And then I never picked it up again because I kind of forgot I was reading it. I remember enjoying a lot of what I've read of this one because it involves blood magic, which is really, really cool and like insane. And I, for some reason, never finished it. So I'm either going to start this back from the beginning or just continue where I left off, depending on what I can remember. And lastly, we have Allegedly and Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. I read Let Me Hear a Rhyme last summer and I really, really enjoyed that. And so I wanted to read more books by Tiffany D. Jackson, which there's a few other books by her I wanted to read, but these were just the first ones that I had bought. So there you have it. These are some of the books that I want to read in 2021. These are some of my bigger priorities. As you can see, there's a big theme with all of these. I have a big goal to read more diversely and books outside of my own experience, so I'm really, really prioritizing those. I've actually done a pretty decent job so far this year reading outside of my own experiences and not just reading books by white, straight, cisgender authors, because that is just not the way the world is. The world is very diverse and just really amazing, and I think it's really important to highlight and read books by these authors. But those are some of the books that I want to read this year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it was all over the place. I'm a mess. That's just who I am as a person. I am just really happy I filmed this video. So I'm really hoping I can get to all of these and more. Let me know down below what books you really want to read this year, and I will see you all soon in another video. Goodbye.